Hi everyone, Dr. Liz here. I just did a video on 5 beliefs of narcissists. What's running around in their head that drives their behavior? 5 beliefs. And now this one is 5 tools of narcissists slash emotional manipulators. So perhaps someone's not a narcissist, but they manipulate a whole lot. But these are 5 tools that they'll typically use. All right, covert badgering is tool number 1. That's to bother someone incessantly, either behind your back or by convincing you that something is wrong with you, so it's okay to badger you. That's what's going on. So they'll plant ideas within their victim's head, within the brain, the mind, that something is wrong with them, really. Then they have like a platform to jump off of. So since something is wrong with you, then you need to do XYZ. Okay, so since something is wrong with you, since you have no motivation, then you need to make sure that you get up in the morning and exercise or whatever. They're planting reasoning to make whatever requests they have sound more reasonable. 2. They offer tiny traces of disappointment when you say no, which then sways you to cooperate. So this is typically more in the beginning of a relationship, the trace of disappointment. And then what will happen is that as they become more comfortable, as the relationship goes on, that will escalate. It'll get more and more extreme, worse and worse. So at some point, they'll fly off the handle for like something you say. It's like 0 to 100, like boom, they're like super angry all of a sudden. Okay, but generally they start with tiny traces of disappointment, and they do this to get you to do whatever they want you to do. They know that most people don't like anger and don't like fighting back. It's very reactive. Usually they're picking victims that are conflict avoidant, let's say, don't like a whole lot of conflict, or it's scary to them. So then they will do that in order to get them to do what they want them to do. All right, 3. More sophisticated ones will very subtly mention what other people do for them or what previous people did for them. And they often subtly follow up with how wonderful those people are or were and how much they loved or liked them as a way to communicate to you what they want you to do for them. And depends how sophisticated they are. They may even say like, oh, I know you would never do something like that because, that's not really like you. They're really manipulating you that way. They're trying to get you to do it. So be aware. All right, moving on to 4. They are irritable. So they make sure that they get what they want so that they're not irritable. So they'll be very irritable so that you learn to get them what they want, so that you learn to try to work as hard as you can so that they won't be irritable. Okay, so they're sort of, not flying off the handle like they do sometimes. They're not going straight to anger, but they're irritable and they're like, so you learn to be quiet or to not watch TV when perhaps you want to, or to not be on your phone, because then they'll be irritated by that. So they start to control your behavior with irritation. All right, let's do one more here. 5. I have a list of like 20. Okay, so we're just doing 5 today. Let's say edit reality. They only talk about things that make them look good or their victims look bad. So most of us know that there's all kinds of sides to a story, and that even when it's a good friend, we're getting their side of the story. And people that are more reasonable will point out often, just as part of conversation, the other side of the story. Okay, they may say something like, oh, I know I wasn't paying attention, and so then the customer wasn't too happy, and I missed something they said, and then, the customer got even more unhappy or something like that. Even when they're telling a story, they'll do it. You can listen for that. An emotional manipulator, a narcissist, will not. It's always the other person's fault, no matter what happens. Somehow they are the victim, no matter what happens. or somehow they are the hero. So they'll do that. Like they were the hero of the situation. They saved the day somehow, okay? Or they were the better person. Like, oh, that person, whoever they're talking about, was not polite to them, or they made some nasty comment or something like that. They will literally tell lies or twist words or just make up things, that's telling lies, okay, to make themselves look like they are the better person and they didn't do anything wrong. So if someone's doing that, and even when you say, well, maybe that person was having a bad day. Let's say you do a very soft confrontation about that, offering a different perspective. They will typically not take that at all. In fact, they'll consider that an insult. And depending on what level your relationship is with them, they may get very angry and go off on you for that. Or even say things like, are you criticizing me? Do you think I should have handled that differently? It's always typically tinged with anger or irritability in there. So you're not even really able to confront them about anything or offer a different perspective without them shutting you down. So you learn pretty quickly not to do that. All right, there's 5 of them for you. All right, stay aware, people. And if you want more information about this, I have a whole playlist about narcissists, particularly narcissistic mothers, or if you need more help with it, then you can go visit my website, drlidshypnosis.com, because I do work with victims of narcissists and as well as adult children of narcissistic parents. All right, be well.